Hi guys, welcome to a unit of competency. So I've got my crazy little poster here. Basically, I just want to go through a unit, talk about what it is, how do I read it. This is still a current version that I'm going to go through. However, we do know that the standards are changing, the training packages are changing, the way the look and feel of the units will change because they'll be in 2 books versus this one. However, if we go through this together, you'll be able to read the new ones as well. So what I want to start with is just if you're looking at the unit itself, and you're looking at the code and title, so I'll just come up here and show you this unit I'm looking at here. So this is the code SIS CAQU 202A, perform basic water rescues. This is basically just a job task, guys. So this is part of a bigger job, which is really part of a qualification. So when you go, okay, so here's what we're going to do, is just specifically perform basic water rescues. What kind of job do you reckon that particular skill might be part of? Well, maybe a lifeguard, right? So if it's a lifeguard, then what qualification might that represent? So jobs are related to qualifications. Units are simply a breakdown of all the tasks within that job. So I want to break this down in common sense terms, all right? So we go, okay, well, there's the task I'm doing. I go inside, you look at what's inside there. You've got the unit descriptor, the application. You know, it might just need a bit of context, get a feel for what this is all about. Double checking any licensing or prereqs is a big one. So, you know, you don't want to create a whole course and then accidentally miss a prereq. All your students go through it, and at the end they don't get the qual because, oh, I forgot that prerequisite. Ugh. So we always want to open up our units and be responsible for the courses that we're conducting, right? All right, it says employability skills. So this unit contains employability skills. Basically, that means this unit at this particular time, when it was created by the Industry Skills Council, they took the 8 employability skills and they integrated them into the performance criteria. So I'll just bring this up again. So they literally just integrated it into the performance criteria one by one, and they've put those employability skills in there versus it being what used to be called key competencies and all that sort of thing. You find your employability skills in your qualification. So you open up your qual, it's got them listed there, and it's got a little bit of information there for you on what to look for within that qualification at that AQF level. Okay, so we skip through that, and the first thing we get to is the elements performance criteria. So if we think about this from a logical standpoint, if this is the task, right? So the task is perform basic water rescues, and you read these elements, which is the 1, 2, 3. So read these elements, you know, identify and evaluate, and then we're going to apply, and then we're going to record it down, right? Those are almost like what? Common sense. You know, could we call it just steps in the task? I don't know if that's hard to read from the video, but can we just call it a step? Step 1, step 2, step 3. And then if these elements are just steps, what would you call these? Performance criteria in just logical terms. So take a read of those. Don't mind the scribbling on it, guys. Okay, so some people say, oh, it's what needs to be in to get the element done. Yeah, totally. Could we just call it how well to perform each step? So in order to get step 1 done, if we were to break that down, it would look like this. So it's kind of like, almost like a job description. It almost got some KPIs in there, some key performance indicators. You know, these are your targets, and this is what you need to do. This is exactly how it's going to look. This is the standard of this particular task in the industry, okay? And then we assess it. So if we keep going, we flip it over, and we've got this thing called required skills and knowledge, or called performance evidence, knowledge evidence, in the new format of the units. We just take a look at that. If this unit, right, if this is the task in the job, perform basic water rescue, then what would you call those skills and knowledge? You know? Could you just call it what you need to do, what you need to know in order to get the job done? That's it, guys. So basically, someone walked around and looked at everything that a person in industry performing a basic water rescue does when they complete their job. And they've written it down. And this is just a way to organize those thoughts, but it's common sense, okay? And then we just look at this part called the evidence guide, which is, this sort of information is found in the new format, is found in what's called the assessment guidelines, and you can particularly find it in the assessment conditions part of it. But we've got critical aspects and context, we've got methods that we can use, some suggestions there. Sometimes they vary a little bit on what's actually in the evidence guide from unit to unit, but critical aspects, we're always looking for musts and mays. So here we've got a requirement, so that's a must. Evidence of the following is essential, so these are all musts, so they must be assessed, right? Context, okay, assessment must ensure, so that's a must, it's a requirement, we got to make sure we do that. Must also ensure access to all of these things, so we've got to have access, to all of these things, right? And then here's a range that should be, so this is a may, we don't have to do it, here's some suggestions for us, here's some examples of some methods, but there isn't a requirement there as such. So, that's the basic breakdown of a unit of competency, guys. And that's great. Thanks for watching.